suggestions that Meghan has been going to a few parties recently without Harry, and he's been at home, and so
Harry is so much better on his own, and the evidence appears to keep adding up. Louise, is there more than...
The digital world was so important to us is because my wife in 2018 was the most trolled person in the world. There was a lived...
From royal bride to Hollywood burnout, Meghan Markle's fairytale has officially lost its shine. Reports suggest the Duchess is done pretending to play the royal role and is now on the hunt for her next big Hollywood payday. Insiders say she's shifting focus from philanthropy to profit, determined to reinvent herself as a solo brand. Meanwhile, Prince Harry seems to be fading into the background, with sources describing him as yesterday's headline. What began as a royal revolution now looks more like a slow unraveling, a couple once united by purpose now seemingly split by ambition. And as Meghan chases her next act under the bright lights of Hollywood, the question is no longer whether the world will forgive her, but whether anyone's still watching. What do you think? Can Meghan truly reinvent herself, or is her star fading for good?
It's fair, Pandora, that anyone is trolled, so to speak. But when, like we said earlier in relation to the Wowsers, when you're in the public sphere, there's...
When Meghan Markle said "I do" to Prince Harry, the world watched in awe. It felt like a real-life fairy tale come true. The glamorous Hollywood actress stepping into centuries of royal tradition seemed like the perfect blend of modern love and royal destiny. Crowds filled the streets, cameras flashed from every angle, and Meghan's diamond tiara gleamed beneath the chapel lights, symbolizing what looked like the start of a flawless future. For a brief, shining moment, she wasn't just marrying a prince, she was rewriting the royal story. But little did anyone know that dazzling fairytale would soon begin to crack beneath the weight of ambition, controversy, and a relentless pursuit of control.
Harry's people, that he's got a couple of rooms somewhere in Montecito where they can go to and have a bit of quiet time away from Meghan and the children. One of them is supposed to be a bungalow which...
But behind the palace walls, the fairytale quickly lost its shine. Meghan soon discovered that royal life wasn't the dream she'd imagined. There were no endless vacations on private islands, no constant red carpet glamour, just strict protocols, constant scrutiny, and a husband weighed down by emotional baggage. Prince Harry, far from the carefree prince of fairy tales, was struggling with family tensions, public pressure, and his own identity outside the royal spotlight. And the biggest shock of all, the riches she imagined weren't what they seemed. The gilded lifestyle came with strings attached, and the reality was far less royal fantasy and far more emotional depth.
Well, it does make me wonder because all signs point to some issues behind the scenes. I mean, professionally, they've had to separate. Their brand was toxic. They were practically radioactive.
Harry isn't the billionaire Prince Meghan might have imagined. His fortune, while substantial by ordinary standards, is relatively modest within royal circles, and the moment he walked away from the firm, most of those royal privileges disappeared overnight. No palaces, no fleets of staff, no endless luxury, just real-life bills and real-world responsibilities. Meghan had pictured a life of yachts, couture, and global influence, but what she ended up with was a hefty Montecito mortgage and the realization that fame doesn't pay like royalty does.
Part of a gym complex where he can go to and then relax after. There is also suggestions that Meghan has been going to a few...
The woman who believed she was walking into a modern-day fairy tale now finds herself living out an indie drama, one filled with public scrutiny, awkward PR moves, and a spotlight that's starting to dim. The glamour that once defined her image is fading fast, replaced by a growing sense of desperation to stay relevant. What was once a royal dream has started to splinter, and for someone like Meghan, image is everything. Cracks aren't just flaws, they are threats. And as those cracks widen, the illusion she built so carefully is beginning to crumble right before the world's eyes.
And across America and the UK as well. So whether that travels into a separation for them, let's hope not, because there are two children at stake here, and they're both victims of...
Critics haven't held back from calling it exactly what they see, a perfectly executed plan. Meghan, they say, got everything she came for. The royal title, worldwide recognition, a headline-grabbing Netflix deal, glossy magazine covers, and the priceless ability to introduce herself as the Duchess wherever she goes. To them, it wasn't love that defined her story, it was strategy. Every move, every photo op, every speech built toward this endgame. And in the process, she didn't just elevate herself, she managed to turn Harry into her ultimate accessory, her co-star in the spotlight and co-signer on every brand, project, and controversy that followed.
Without Harry, and he's been at home.
But now that the shine has faded, the fairy tale looks more like a cautionary tale. The power couple image they built is cracking under the weight of unmet expectations, deals drying up, projects underperforming, and Hollywood insiders quietly distancing themselves from the once hyped duo. The same circles Meghan fought so hard to join are now whispering about her growing desperation. The life she dreamed of, the tiaras, palaces, and endless luxury, has been replaced by mortgages, PR battles, and a husband who seems increasingly homesick for his old life. Meghan wanted the princess's world, but it turns out fairy tales don't pay the bills. The question now is, what's next when the spotlight that once crowned you starts to burn instead?
I don't know what's going to happen about Harry and Meghan split rumors, but these rumors have been going around now. There is nothing of substance that I've been able to find.
Insiders reveal that Meghan is growing restless. The finding freedom narrative that once defined her has run its course, and now she's scrambling for a fresh angle to stay in the headlines. For Meghan, relevance isn't just part of the game, it's her lifeline. Every move, every photo op, every project is another gasp for oxygen in a world that moves on quickly. And with public interest fading and Hollywood's attention shifting elsewhere, she's feeling the pressure. The clock is ticking, and Meghan knows it. In her world, obscurity isn't an option, it's extinction.
Divorced childhood, they've had the acrimony, they've lived through it themselves, and they won't want that for Lilibet and Archie either. But moreover to that, I really find that I'm seeing Harry and Meghan much happier professionally working.
Reports suggest that Meghan is once again diving into the world of wealth and influence, not through royal connections this time, but through her own ambitious networking. Insiders claim she's been making discreet appearances at elite gatherings and reconnecting with power players in business and entertainment. Her so-called billionaire shopping spree, as some put it, isn't about handbags or jewelry, but about positioning herself among the ultra-rich and well-connected. Socially speaking, Meghan seems eager to reclaim her place in those rarefied circles where status, power, and money mingle as effortlessly as vintage champagne.
Criticism. The World Privacy Tour didn't quite turn out the way that we thought that it would, but so why is he bringing this up now?
Yeah, so this was the Nexus conference. Now, if you think back to a couple of years ago...
Think ultra-exclusive Silicon Valley retreats, invitation-only soirees hosted by tech giants, and high-profile charity galas that double as elite networking arenas. According to insiders, Meghan has her sights set on the next wave of power players, the kind of billionaires shaping global industries from behind the scenes. Whispers in those circles mention European telecom magnates, international financiers, and influential venture capitalists. It's not about romance this time, but strategy, a calculated move to rebrand herself among the world's movers and shakers, where connections are currency and image is everything.
Beautiful pictures of Harry in Vancouver. The big smile, he's so engaged, and Arthur Edwards, of course, who's followed him.
One especially tantalizing rumor ties Meghan to a tech billionaire known for his Hollywood arm candy preferences, while whispers also swirl around Ted Sarandos, the Netflix chief who once dubbed her a rock star. Is it purely professional networking, or a calculated strategic flirtation? Either way, Meghan seems acutely aware of the game. In her world, proximity equals opportunity, and every handshake or shared smile could open doors to influence, money, and relevance.
As a young royal photographer, made the point that he was really seeing the Harry of old, and it's been wonderful to see that. So,
and I feel like we have said that a number of times over the year, where we have seen him at various things.
And when your brand teeters on the edge of irrelevance, nothing signals a comeback quite like a high-stakes billionaire maneuver. Meghan's radar for power and wealth appears sharper than ever, and if Montecito whispers are to be believed, she's already plotting calculated moves. In her world, Plan B isn't a fallback, it's the main act, waiting just offstage for its moment to steal the spotlight.
Appearing in New York, it would be sort of like front page headlines, but he does so many of these conferences and appearances now, it sort of seeps into them.
Here's where it all begins to unravel. Meghan's carefully curated brand is gasping for relevance. The woman once celebrated as the emblem of modern royalty has become a recurring punchline on late-night TV. Her Netflix cooking show, meant to showcase charm and relatability, flopped, leaving critics and audiences alike questioning whether her star power ever translated beyond the royal title.
is now becoming a regular thing for him because they have to be financially independent. Of course, I'm not privy to how much he got paid to speak if he got paid.
Critics tore it apart, labeling the show as nothing more than Instagram aesthetics with no substance. Take the infamous pineapple clip, for example, Meghan demonstrating how to cut a fruit as if it was some groundbreaking revelation, which quickly went viral, but for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, and he just seems to be, a bit lighter and like he's having a bit more fun. It looks like, too, that this professional
Audiences roasted her relentlessly, memes went viral, and Meghan's Martha Stewart ambitions collapsed into Pinterest-level parody. Reports even say the production team scrapped hours of footage for being painfully dull. Then there's her podcast. Spotify cancelled it faster than anyone could say content strategy. Meghan aimed to appear aspirational, but the public saw something entirely different. Forced, disconnected, and painfully staged.
That just goes to show sort of like the prevalence of them really now taking part of headlines. And of course, as you said, privacy is so important.
Every misstep steadily erodes her carefully crafted image, and no amount of PR spin can salvage the brand Meghan built around empowerment and elegance. The empire of glossy Instagram moments, charity appearances, and luxury collaborations is buckling under the weight of vanity projects and hollow narratives. If the whispers are true, even Meghan herself can sense the cracks forming in the empire she once believed untouchable.
Christmas plans.
That's right. So Harry is one of the things he absolutely loves.
Hollywood has officially turned its back on Meghan Markle. Industry insiders are no longer buying into the idea that the Duchess is a must-have star. The sting hit hardest when Brooke Shields took a subtle yet cutting swipe at Meghan during a podcast, mocking her recycled empowerment tales, including that oft-repeated story about writing to a soap company at age 11. The anecdote was more than just a joke. It was a clear public signal. Meghan's narrative has grown stale, and the industry is done playing along.
Charity for children who have lost their parents through warfare. Of course, he has lost a mother, so there's great resonance with this charity. And what he's done is he's put an invitation out. And
Meghan isn't just fading from relevance; she's losing her allies too. Oprah's tell-all has gone radio silent. The Obamas are nowhere to be seen, and even Tyler Perry, the one who gave Meghan and Harry their first California hideout, appears to be keeping tabs on favors owed. Hollywood runs on fresh, edgy energy, and right now, the Duchess's star power is flickering, leaving her isolated in a world that once celebrated her every move.
Where he's asking all the families involved with that charity to jump on a Zoom call with him, and they can ask him questions about Christmas time and what it's like for a prince. But no.
Montecito was meant to be Meghan's victory lap, the ultimate display of wealth and influence. Instead of awe, she's met with side eyes and stifled laughs. Neighbors whisper about the irony of her relatable mom image while she hops private jets to preach sustainability at high-profile summits. Her carefully curated persona clashes with reality, turning what was supposed to be a triumph into a lesson in optics.
Meghan is not involved in that. And to Louise's point about the separation, this is an opportunity where they could actually come together. It's completely innocuous. It's a goodwill.
In today's world, where authenticity rules, Meghan's carefully curated perfection comes off as artificial, and in Montecito, that's social suicide. Meanwhile, Harry, who gave up a kingdom for California sunsets and streaming deals, losing military honors, royal privileges, and strained family ties, now seems more like Meghan's accessory than an equal partner. Every public appearance underscores this imbalance, making the contrast impossible to ignore.
She's not just going to pop up in the background at least and, I don't know, hold up one of the kids or show what they've got ready for.
Meghan dominates the spotlight while Harry quietly plays second fiddle, a supporting actor in the Meghan Markle production. His once confident presence has been replaced by therapy buzzwords and awkward podcast cameos, with friends murmuring about his isolation and simmering frustration. He traded royal privilege for freedom, but the price was his own identity. Meanwhile, Meghan, reportedly scouting billionaire lifeboats, leaves him adrift, questioning whether the Great Escape was worth it. Megyn Kelly didn't hold back, declaring on her show, if Elon Musk gave Meghan Markle a second look, Harry would be history by breakfast. Harsh, absolutely. But it highlights the uneasy dynamic, who's really in control, and how long can this fragile power balance last?
What's the story here?
Well, yes, and she's been dubbed Meghan Markle because the product...
That's exactly what the internet is buzzing about. Meghan's rumored billionaire wish list isn't just idle gossip. It's the whispered reality circulating through Hollywood backrooms and Montecito dinner parties. Sources claim the Duchess has her sights set on names so wealthy that Harry's Netflix paycheck suddenly feels like pocket change, turning the spotlight squarely on her ambitions and leaving the world wondering, is this a strategic move or a calculated power play?
Opportunity to show them as a couple, as a family together, because they're talking directly to families. I also think this shows Harry.
We're talking Wall Street sharks, big tech innovators, and global tycoons whose private islands, super yachts, and cufflink-level influence practically radiate power. Why the pivot? Meghan's brand is wobbling. Her podcast is dead. The Netflix deal feels stale, and independence comes with a Montecito-sized price tag. Insiders say she's been strategically appearing at high-profile galas, charity auctions, and women's empowerment luncheons, casually sprinkling sound bites about sustainability and mental health. Translation: she's baiting the hook, signaling exactly the kind of networked, influential attention she thrives on.